Hey, welcome to the Death of a Dream podcast. You're here with me, which is such an amazing thing. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into our great things. My great thing from yesterday, I'm trying to cleanse my body and kind of reground it and restart it. We had a little bit of a nutritional break for probably about a month, and that was kind of a mixture of a lot of things. One, we made a huge transition. There were a lot of lows from that. We also went on a vacation, which was not ideally planned, is what I would say. And, we'll do better next time. We were already talking about our game plan for the next vacation that we took when it comes to nutrition and choices that we made and ability to eat, and not saying that, vacations tend to be your YOLO moment, right? Like, here you go. But I think that too comes with balance, and it's important to not do what we did, which was like this huge YOLO moment, and it has taken a little while to recover. So I've been committed, as I'm trying to reground and I'm trying to refine myself, to cleaning up what nutrition would look like for me and this family, and kind of getting back to our roots. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is the lows and the highs and how to navigate those things, because they're coming, right? And so nutritionally, we've been in a low place. Yesterday, oh my gosh, yesterday. So I am no stranger to different tonics, different things to try to recover my gut health. And gut health has always been something that I've struggled with. Comedians and people like that, they talk about how they poop their pants or something. I would never have that issue. Trust me. Exact opposite issue. I know it's weird to talk about, but here we all are. So I don't vibe with what they're talking about there, but because of that, I have this need to kind of always keep my gut health in mind and always stay constantly aware of where things are at. So I'm at the grocery store. I'm looking for like an apple cider type drink to kind of reset my gut and reset my flora, fauna, whatever. I don't know. I'm sure I listened to a podcast about it. And so I'm looking for this, and I find it. And it also has honey and turmeric and all things that sound terrible together, because apple cider vinegar isn't necessarily a drink that you just want to sit down and drink. But then add in those crazy ingredients and boom, you got yourself an elixir. So I buy this elixir, and yesterday I'm like, I'll just add it to my morning tea. And so if you didn't see me drinking my morning tea yesterday, that's why. I could smell it the whole time that we were podcasting. I could not even imagine myself taking a drink. So I finally convinced myself to work up the courage to take this drink of this elixir tea. It's terrible. I'm wanting to just die when I drink it. And I drink it, and it tastes like hot pickle juice. Hot mixed with my tea, whatever it was. And I'm on the phone with a friend, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. I don't know that I can do this. I actually enjoy pickle juice, so this isn't a crazy drink for me, but not hot. Not hot, I decide. So today I wake up and I'm like, okay, we're just going to do a shot, NBD. I've done shots. This is no big deal. And you know how when you take a shot, but you've been thinking about it for too long, and you drink the shot down, but you let it absorb in the back of your throat. You don't. And I think it's an overthinking thing, because I've done it before, and I've done shots or different things quickly before, but it seems like when you are allowed enough time to mentally process, something about that just sticks that shot right in the back of your throat, and it just absorbs in every way possible. And then you have the second drinking of the shot. Just thinking about it, oh my gosh, makes me want to vomit right now. Okay, so I'm like committed. I'm going to do it in a shot. I pour the shot. I'm like, yes, let's go. I'm at a bar and I'm 18 and I'm pumped up. Actually, that's the falsest thing ever because I was always too scared to underage drink. I did it a few times, but it was rare. Okay. Anyways, I'm 21. I'm at a bar. I'm taking a shot. Pumped, but they're pouring it. It's taking a long time, right? And I'm pumped up, but like the moment's passing where I can do this appropriate. And you take it and it just sits there. It's like your throat won't even open. It just sits and you're like, no, this isn't happening. Anyway, so it just sits there and it's hot and it like expands in the back of my throat. Oh my gosh. And I take it down and I immediately have to run to the sink because I'm pretty sure that this isn't staying down. And I took it down. I did it. It happened. It did not taste like the pickle juice that it did yesterday, heated up. I'm not sure. I think today I'll put it in the fridge and see if it's more tolerable cold. I'm not sure. But it's going to be real touch and go here for the rest of the week. And I think that's okay. My friend was concerned, like, are you sure that you're supposed to be eating this? Are you sure that this is something that you should be doing to your body? And I'm like, yes, it says gut health. This is important. Prebiotic, probiotics. I don't know. I just know enough to know that I saw it on some podcast or I heard it on some podcast or I saw it on some video. I just know that I need this elixir. Don't question it. Okay. I think this is important. So here we are. I took the shot. I did it. I recommend this. If you are doing something based off of something that you saw on a video, heard in a podcast, just make sure that you feel confident in what it's doing for you. Because anytime that you venture down a crazy path, people are going to question it. You will start to question it. And if you don't have some answers, like I don't, I just told you I have no idea why I'm doing this. You're going to start to feel crazy, okay? It's okay to do crazy things. Just make sure you know why. That will help you as you navigate through this crazy time in your life, okay? So we're kind of detoxing, resetting the gut, doing those things. This is important. This is like a body journey. This is me listening to my body and doing things that my body is saying, please don't do this, but all in an attempt to regain a normal kind of status, a normal body status. I can tell that my body's holding on to a lot of things and we kind of need to push the reset button. And so that's what we're doing. We're resetting taste buds. We're resetting, which, yeah, I'm pretty sure I just burned them all off. Definitely the ones at the back of my throat. It's going to be hard to navigate taste for a little while. But I think all in the attempt to listen and give my body what it's asking for. And it's really asking for me to alleviate all of the extra that it's holding on to. So I'm making that attempt, doing crazy things, finding different paths to get there because the ones that I had been using led me up to this place and kind of regrounding myself in what this food relationship looks like, how we continue to navigate through that as we go through life. And I think that inevitably is the constant challenge to all of us, right? There are just different things that we all hold on to, and food tends to be one of those sore points for me. So my gut health, staying aware of my body and what it's asking for, will always be an important thing for me. And I'm working through navigating through that. So that's my great thing. And my crazy, I don't even know what I'm taking a shot of, but it seems like an important step right now for me and for my body. So go ahead and take time today to recognize yourself for something great that you're doing. It can be anything, literally anything, but make sure that you're grounding yourself in your greatness every single day. It will have amazing trickle-down effects with how you show up in this world. And it doesn't even have to be grand things. I just want you to recognize yourself for accomplishing great things. It will shift your mindset instantly because you will start to look for great things that you're accomplishing every day. Therefore, you'll start to change what that looks like in your life, how you show up, what you do. So that's my great thing. Go do it. Do it yourself. You got it. I know you do. Come on. Okay, so let's dive in. Today we're talking about highs and lows. And I talked to a friend yesterday about how low of a transition this had been and how surprising that was to me. And I've been talking about that journey. And, you know, we can all go, oh, boo-hoo, poor thing, you got to quit your job. How miserable you must be. 'Cause I get it, right? I'm saying those things to myself. But I think it's important to continue the conversation because here's the thing. If you make a transition like this, if you decide that you're going to shift careers or you're going to start your business or you're going to go all in on whatever dream it is that you have, what I want you to be prepared for is the high and the low of that. Because, yeah, the grass is always greener, right? And that's why people say that, right? To keep you caught back, to keep you wishing that you just never did it. Because then we all stay on the safe side, right? And what if someone jumps out of the fence? And what if they go and they don't get eaten by the lion? Well, that shows the rest of the sheep that it's okay to venture on. And the rest of the sheep don't want to know that, right? Sometimes they want to stay safe and protected. And so it's just easier to protect all of us and keep us all over here so that no one proves anything. So that we all stay safe and secure and small together, right? And so stay aware of that. But I'm going to continue telling this story because it's going to happen. You're going to make a transition. You are going to feel like, why did I ever do this? And I think what I'm going to tell you in this story is probably the most vital because this was so unexpected. And, you know, anyone who goes, oh my gosh, you're going to chase your dream. Yay, go you. And you think, as I thought, oh my gosh, yes, I'm going to chase my dream. This is what I've been wanting to do. This is what I talk about. This is what I write about. This is what I'm meant to do. Here we go, right? And you think you're just going to step off the curb and fall in stride, right? But you don't step off the curb. You step off a cliff. And you fall deeper than you ever imagined. And the deepness doesn't come from success or failure. I've told you, I get excited about failing. I like navigating new spaces. This is all very exciting to me. And so that part isn't even scary to me. The scary part really came from the questioning and the having to restructure of what value looks like, especially when you don't have that closed feedback loop, right? Where there isn't someone coaching you. It's similar to like going and working out at a gym but not having a trainer. Really, the only way that you can gauge your success is by looking at yourself, feeling your own body, right? You don't have someone taking measurements of you and watching your weight. So you have to be responsible for that. And that's what a change like this looks like. That's how you navigate the lows, right? You have to stay aware of what you feel like because you no longer have that coach in that situation, right? And maybe you're not transitioning to a place where you're all alone, but if you ever are in that place, if you're ever thinking about going there, that's why this story has to be told, okay? So you're going to jump, walk, whatever. You're going off a cliff. You're going down because this is what happens. There's this significant insignificance that lies in venturing on something all by yourself and venturing down an unbeaten path, because the beaten path has close feedback loops, has people championing you, patting you on the back, continuing you to go. Now, once you venture off into your own path, there's no guarantee that you're ever going to have that. There's no guarantee that someone is going to appreciate you, the work that you do, anything, especially if you're going down a creative path, right? Because art inevitably is subjective. Even as you choose this podcast, even as you continue listening to this, one episode to the next, one could be for you, one could be way off in left field, and you could just decide to never listen again. Or you can start listening, vibe with it, hate it because of something crazy that I said, stop listening forever. Or you can come back, right? There are a million different ways to interpret the art. I read a book, I told you about the book that I read this weekend, and I think the beauty of all art is the subjectiveness, right? Is the ability that we take on to create, interpret, and apply that art to our lives. And that's the beauty of the work, right? That's the beauty of podcasts. That's the beauty of music. That's the beauty of books. You all have the ability to interpret and take it in. Art, whatever that looks like for you, or maybe it's paintings, or maybe it's drawings. I don't know what that looks like for you, but art adds beauty to this world. And creatives, by and large, are the controllers of that movement for themselves. And so the danger when you jump off that cliff, if you're going into the creative field, is that if you're leaving a structure that had continued feedback, that had kind of a coach or boss or whatever that looks like, all of a sudden when that's gone, if that's how you assign your worth, and so many of us do, right? The whole country really is built on you saying what you do. That's instantly what people ask. And that's the danger, right? When we assign who we are to what we do, when we lose that, all of a sudden we lose ourselves and we don't know how to respond appropriately because we aren't anybody then. And so that was the stepping off of a cliff. So if you would ever leave your job to go on a new adventure, you're starting from square one. And so you have to have that low in order to get high again. If you always just stay right here, right on that cliff, right on that level, there's not really an ability to have a major change or a major growth, right? If we're always just staying safe, we can't go too high or too low. And so sometimes you have to take that leap. You have to jump off that curb. You have to take that chance because those are the moments that will build in you and shape the life that you want inevitably. And so that's what I want to ask from you today. That's what I want you to start focusing on. It's okay to have lows, right? So my journey into this new entrepreneur space where I have to figure out how to make money and eat and do things that are called to my heart, but also feed my family. My journey to there looked like super low. I didn't expect it. I really thought the cheers and excitement from all of that would last me longer. But it had equal effects of low and high, right? There was an excitement of being able to share what I was doing finally. There was an excitement of people being excited about it and the fact that I do this. But that was like eating one Smartie out of a Smartie pack and then just staring at it, right? Like there was one day that was beautiful and epic and high. And then we sunk back down and we had to get into the work and just start going. And I experienced probably 3 weeks of just really low place. And that was because all of a sudden there aren't people there validating you, validating your work, talking to you, even just acknowledging that you're a human being, right? There's so much importance in that. And losing that identity, losing that ability to kind of assemble who I was and what I was about was scary and created this new space where I was so uncomfortable and so unsure that I just didn't even know what to do. Now, I will say at the peak of my lowness, so like really sad and like a downward peak, at the peak of that lowness, we went on that trip. And I will say that was probably the saving grace. I don't know how much lower I could have gotten, but I think that trip called me back and made me remember why we're doing this in the first place, why we're here, what we're doing here, why we started, right? It was kind of like a regrounding moment of this is exactly why you're doing this. This right here, this trip, this traveling, this podcasting, this speaking, this ability to just pick up and go and have those experiences and get to live in those moments. And had we not taken that trip, I don't know where we'd be right now, but that really was the saving grace. That brought me to a higher point, and we came back and I was way low just because of where I had kind of worked my body from the downfall effects of being as low as I was prior to that. And then you add in bad food choices and you add in, the ungrounding of what travel does to your body. And I was just kind of down and out. And now I'm feeling better, higher, but I've had to continue to find ways out of those low points. And I think the beauty of any low point is the high that's coming after. And I told you we had a flat tire, we lost a muffler, we are like right in the deepness of the low point. And the beauty of that is that the lower you go, the higher the trajectory looks after. And I think that that's what's important. You can't escape the lows. And for the longest time, that's what I pretty much created my personal brand around. Not like I was podcasting before, but my personal brand was escaping lows. Not ever feeling them, staying above them all the time. Oh no, we're good. Yep, it's great. Okay, love life. And I tell you, be great, do great things. And I know if you've listened to season 1, if you've been a part of that, I know that season 1 really was that, before probably about 3 months ago, that was a part of who I was. Like, let's just escape the narrative completely. Let's just act like it's all okay, which there is a mental power in that, right? Being able to find good in all situations is important. But when we find the good, trying to escape the bad, that's where the problem comes in. And so I've been really working on experiencing both, the highs and the lows, and figuring out how to navigate with my strength, but not navigate straight out and fly right past it without ever allowing myself to feel it. And this is, if you're an Enneagram 7, this is something that we struggle with. We just don't want to feel bad, okay? And so I've been working in my own personal growth space in allowing myself time to just experience the bad and being okay with it. And talking through that with all of you, I think is important to help as you navigate through low points and high points, as you navigate through major changes in your own life, because that's what we're talking about. I thought it was just going to be this wonderful thing and everybody was going to pat me on the back and we were all going to be excited and people would keep in touch and they'd be like, oh my gosh, how are you? This is so exciting. Who are you? How are you doing? What are you doing? Way to go. There's going to be like newspaper articles and people are going to care. And I think you have to just be okay with the fact that every single person is just a blip, right? Or just someone on the radar. And for some people, you're going to have major impact and you're going to be a huge part of that story. And for other people, you're just going to be one small touch point in the millions of touch points that they have across their life. Now, what's important to me is making those touch points meaningful for myself. If I'm ever interpreted by someone, I hope that something I say here or other places touches you and helps you in some way. On the flip side of that, when I'm working with other people, I think I have to stay aware constantly that, one, I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. It's okay to not be friends with everyone. It's okay for you to not be someone's cup of tea, right? It's okay. Is everybody your cup of tea? No. Okay? That's why it's okay. You don't like everybody. Be honest with yourself. You don't like everybody, okay? Or you wouldn't hang out with everybody. So, and then the second thing is just that not everybody's looking for that from you. And sometimes we think that they are. They aren't. Sometimes people just really don't care. That's all. Like, it's as simple as that. So I want you to keep those things in mind as you're working to navigate through your own highs and lows. People don't notice as much as you think that they do. Period. Okay? And not everybody cares or is going to care after you make that change. And I think that was one of the things that I wish I would have. I think that would have helped me navigate it a little bit more. Having that expectation that people just wouldn't care would have helped me to realize that we're jumping off a cliff and it's going to be dark and scary and lonely down there. And you are going to need to find people with flashlights to help you out of this low point. And had I better prepared for that moment, I think we would have been able to navigate the last month a little bit quicker. But the low is important too, right? No matter what, you're going to be stepping off a cliff. Anytime that you make a big change, it's going to be a cliff type moment. You're going to fall and be a beginner again. What I want you to do is build in life support as you rise back up to help you rise back up, because the low is coming no matter what. It's not always going to stay high. It's not always going to stay light and be wonderful. There's no guarantee here. So that's a little bit of how I've been navigating the extreme lows and highs and working myself through that as we've made extreme change here over the last month. And hopefully it helps you to navigate your own major change that you're about to make in your own life. That's all we have today. I'd love to hear from you. If this helps you, you can go ahead and tag The Death of a Dream on Instagram. Share it to your stories. I'd love to see how this is working in your own life. As always, you're smart, you're strong, you're beautiful. What are you going to do? Change the world.